I'm Dave Koz.
I'm Peter White.
I'm Rick Braun.
I'm Keiko Matsui.
I'm Rebecca Jade.
And Chicago, we are coming to your town. We cannot wait. Thursday, December 8th at the historic Chicago Theater. There's nothing like Chicago for the holidays. We'll look forward to seeing you then, and happy holidays!
Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, Stories from the 78, and I am bringing my friend in to help feel all the Christmas cheer, my friend Dave Koz. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Tom. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas to you. And I really feel like after the year that has been 2022, we said this in 2021 and 2020, but I feel like the holidays are more important than ever. And why not spread Christmas cheer by bringing your musical entourage that consists of over 1 million copies sold, of a career Grammy nominated, 25 years in the making Christmas show here in Chicago at the Chicago Theater on December 8th.
Well, it's first of all, it's great to be with you. Thank you for having me back. And Chicago and our Christmas show are locked. It's just kind of like, I can't imagine doing this show, and we've done it. This will be our 25th anniversary, and I can't even believe that coming out of my mouth. That just sounds implausible. Like, how did we get to have this 25 years running without missing? Even in the pandemic in 2020, when nobody was on tour, we still were able to mount our show. It was a live stream. But Chicago has always been a massive part of it, and there's no, in all the great cities of the United States, which we get to travel to at Christmas time, there is, to my feeling, from my perspective, there's no city more Christmassy than Chicago. It just feels so celebratory, and when you walk in the lobby of the Chicago Theater, you just feel that mirth, that kind of feeling of the holidays. It's right there. It's usually chilly outside and nice and warm inside, so it's a really great feeling. And I'm very this is kind of an interesting time period for me. I'm kind of been doing this for a long time, and I'm starting to feel the nostalgia of being able to do this for this many years, and the fact that people still come back. Tom, there are people that came to the show early on in Chicago that brought their kids, and now I look in the audience, and those kids now have kids that they bring to the show. So it's like this generational nostalgia thing that really means a tremendous amount to me.
Yeah, and you were saying it earlier about Chicago being very Christmassy and a very Christmas town. You're absolutely right. I feel that for sure, especially with the fact that, for years I've known people who come downtown and they do a whole tradition of going to see the tree. There's this place called Berghoff's, which is this German restaurant that's been around forever. And they go see the windows that used to be Marshall Field's, now Macy's, but they still do the windows, and they have the Walnut Room where the big tree, and then the Chicago Theater is right there. And then of course, now you have Millennium Park where the tree now kind of sits, but you have the ice skating, and adding your show is just like the topper. It's just like a fun Christmas thing to do in any city, but so great that it happens in Chicago.
There's the energy of the Chicago Theater, because that. Well, have you ever been backstage there?
Oh yeah.
So all the walls.
A lot of people.
And I've been doing this at the Chicago Theater for a lot of years, and still I look forward to going backstage and just in the stairwells by the dressing rooms and just looking at the walls and seeing who's been on that stage. And it's a trip. Like, it is so amazing to think of the superstars of yesterday and today that grace that stage. And it's almost like
some of those superstars doing Christmas albums and stuff like around Christmas time too.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of is, on one hand it's really inspiring. It's the other hand, it makes you nervous.
I bet. You talk about superstars, and the last concert I saw there was earlier this year, and it was none other than Van Morrison on tour. Yeah, it was incredible though. And the Chicago Theater, it's massive. It's not small. But yet still is small. It feels that intimacy, but it's just a magical place. And you released your a new holiday album and you have a single off of that that is a redo or a remake, I should say, of a famous John Lennon Christmas song. We'll go into that.
Well, the name of the album is Christmas Ballads. It
Hmm.
is. I should be in full disclosure. This is my eighth Christmas album. So, especially when you think about the fact that I was raised Jewish and not even we never even had a Christmas tree growing up. But I love the holidays. I've always loved the holidays. I've always loved the music associated with it, and I think that as an instrumentalist, I play the saxophone, so I'm not a singer. So what I really respond to are great melodies, and
Hmm.
it's so much when you talk about Christmas music and holiday music, both the more religious and the more secular oriented stuff. There's just so much of it. So I've been able to record all these records, and on this one, I'm particularly proud because it's all brand new material for me. I've never
Hmm.
recorded any of these songs. And the song that you had mentioned, this medley of John Lennon songs, Happy Christmas, War is Over, and Imagine, those are two beautiful pieces of music. One obviously is a Christmas song, anti war Christmas song, and the other one is a
Hmm.
pro peace non Christmas song. But to my knowledge, those two songs by John Lennon had never been put together in a medley in this way for a Christmas album. And so it was kind of inspired. This was not my idea. This was the idea of our producer, who's an incredibly talented genius, really, named Philippe Sace. So this whole idea of Christmas ballads was to, um, as the inspiration and motivation, was to look at the Christmas through the holidays through the lens of the later part of the night when the guests have already left
Hmm. It's
and
almost
now
my favorite part.
yeah, you put away all the stuff and you're now just chilling. You got a couple of hours with the fireplace going. You got a nice beverage. You've got a special person there, hopefully. And you can just enjoy the more intimate side of the holidays. And that's why it's all ballads and all has this sort of sense of kind of intimacy and warmth.
And how appropriate of an anti-war song, given the fact of what's going on in the Ukraine and all over the world. It feels like there's always something new. So it's nice to just have that guiding light of a song to just try to put things in perspective and try to tell people, let's love one another. It's the holidays, like not to get political, but you know what I mean. Like it's just nice in the world full of all that. It's just nice. It's wonderful to hear.
Well, thank you for that, Tom. That's really kind of you to say. And I agree completely. This is uh, the way that most people are consuming music right now is, and I hate to use the word consuming, but using music to calm the nerves to provide, because I think it's like this one pure energy that is not words carry, a different kind of feeling to them, and
Hmm.
oftentimes don't convey the way music can. Like music is as many years as I've been doing it, and it's still hard for me to put it into words, as as you're finding out right now. But I'm so overwhelmingly still blown away by the healing power of what a song can do. You
Hmm.
can have two people that do not see eye to eye, just say, one is a just using one thing as Republicans and Democrats. We know that
Sure.
there's, people that can't talk to each other. But if you have a staunch Democrat and a staunch Republican and play one song that both people like, that is a
It's a
bridge.
breakthrough.
It's a
Yeah.
bridge in a way that everything else can't be the same kind of bridge. So I feel like music right now is maybe the most important it's ever been.
I agree. I mean, there's been plenty of bands that have made careers out of trying to bridge the gap or bring light to things. I mean, Bob Marley made a career out of that kind of tone with his music and standing up for things. And I love that you chose these particular John Lennon songs, and you featured a woman named Rebecca Jade as the vocalist. Is that right?
She's an amazing singer. She's got her own career. It's She started out, I'll be honest with you, she started out as the party band singer for our cruises. Like I've hosted cruises for a number of years all over the world, and we bring, it's like a floating jazz festival that I
Oh,
host.
that sounds amazing.
And we've been all over the world. And so Rebecca was the singer in this party band that we would have every year. And I just started noticing the way that people would respond to the way she sang. And we kind of brought her away from the party band and gave her her own shows. And then she made a record. And last year we featured her on the tour. This year we feature her again. She's on the album. Her own album is taking off, so she's really doing great, and I'm so proud of her because every opportunity that's presented to her, she just grabs it and just goes for it, and she's killing it. So she'll be joining Rick Braun on trumpet, Peter White on guitar, myself on saxophone, and Keiko Matsui on keyboards, and that is the lineup for this year's Christmas tour.
Right, the 25th anniversary Christmas tour here in Chicago on December 8th, Chicago Theater. Make a weekend of it, do your thing, because you need to take a breath. And I tell people all the time, just slow down a little bit, because the holidays only come once a year. So enjoy them a little bit. Don't just rush through them. That I feel like the way the world is, and the streaming and the consuming, as you said earlier, like people just want to hurry up and get things done. But then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't even get to enjoy it. So this is a perfect opportunity to slow down and enjoy.
Well, and add to, if you want to make a more of a thing of it, you can get the Garrett's popcorn going.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And or the Nuts on Clark popcorn. Some people are Nuts on Clark people, and
Yeah.
other people are Garrett's people. I respect it all. I respect it all. But the Chicago mix at Garrett's is pretty tough to beat. And then part of my experience in Chicago always has to be, I have to get a hot dog. I mean, and there are so many to choose from.
I was about to say, what's your hot dog du jour place?
Well,
You got
I
a
don't want you to
particular hot dog?
judge. I don't want you to judge me, but the hot dog at the Four Seasons Hotel downtown
Oh,
in the
okay.
bar, it's it's ridiculous. Now I know that because Chicago people who are going to watch this, they're going to say, "You're full of crap, Dave Koz. You do nothing. You're going to a hotel for a hot dog. It's a complete, travesty." But as of now, that's my favorite.
Have you sampled any of the local flavor hot dogs, like Portillo's? I mean, that's kind of, it's grown out of Chicago a little bit, but it started here. Have you done that, or just like a road, like just a regular, like the Wiener Circle? Have you heard of the Wiener Circle
I
in
have been
Chicago?
to the Wiener Circle. I
Little
love
different vibe, a
yeah.
little different than the Four Seasons, but
I love it all. Believe me, I'm not a Four Seasons person. Although it's nice to stay there. Don't get me wrong.
sure, who's going to complain? I'm not.
But I don't need a fancy place. I don't need a fancy dog. But it's just the one that it's the go-to for me. Although I love the Wiener Schnitzel, and of course I've been to Portillo's. I've tried. Basically, I've come to Chicago for so many years.
Yeah, well, 25, right?
I've
Well,
tried them all.
I got to tell you, Dave, if it works out this year, I'll meet you down at the Four Seasons for a hot dog, and I'll buy you a shot of Malort, and then that will complete your Chicago connection. Because if you haven't had Malort yet, it is a
I don't.
Chicago.
What is it? It's a
It's uh, what is it? It's a liqueur or a lick. It's like, it's a Chicago thing, and it's got the Chicago flag on the label. And if you know anybody in Chicago who grew up here or has been spent time here, either they love it or they hate it. It's one of those things. But Malort is a thing as much as Garrett is a thing. The popcorn or the hot dog or the deep dish pizza, a shot of Malort at a bar. They actually call it the Chicago handshake. It's a shot of Malort, and you use an old style for a chaser. That's the Chicago handshake. So,
okay. Well, I think we should do that. I think you're on.
all right. All right. Well, after the show on the 8th, we'll find our way over to the a certain spot, and we'll make it happen. Dave, thank you very much for joining me. I always have fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's great talking with you too, and I appreciate you putting me on your show. I wish you a great rest of the year and a really beautiful 2023 ahead too. Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
you.
And oh, before I forget, tickets, people, where is the best spot to grab the tickets?
Probably you can find out about the show at my website, which is davekoz.com. You can buy tickets there on the tour page. And I'm sure that the Chicago Theater box
Yeah,
office as well.
perfect. All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Get back to your day, and we'll see you around Christmas time.
Okay, buddy. Nice talking with you.